Don't mind me. I'm sucking on a peppermint. My stomach is kind of womp womp. But also, if you hear any additional noise in the background, I do apologize. Someone was getting arrested out front of my house about 20 minutes
Oh
ago,
shit, for real?
and they were not going willingly. So
Why are we not reporting on that? We need to report on that.
listen,
No.
I am not a part of the news segment in town. I am not an anchor. So
Girl, this could be your whole new
good luck to
job.
them. No, girl. No, I'm not doing it. I'm keeping my black ass out of that business. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of YA at Heart. We are almost done with the Wrath and the Dawn.
Can I tell you, I've fallen more in love with this character. Just more in love with it.
Yes!
The more I read, the more I'm like, okay. I'm like so excited.
I know. Literally, Khalid is just...
He's perfection. I love him.
This man.
I love him.
I think we can safely say
the...
that we both feel...
Yeah, he's on the list. He's a book
yeah,
husband.
He's definitely on the list. A book husband, not even
no,
book boyfriend.
Husband.
Yes, book husband.
I would chain myself to that man.
That's who he is.
Like...
Oh, okay. I wouldn't go that far. So, before we get started, want to ask you guys again to make sure you follow us on social media at YA at Heart Podcast on Twitter and not Twitter, on Instagram and on TikTok. Do I know our handles?
Hey, it's okay.
And at YA at Heart Pod on Twitter. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Reviews, follows. Oh, sorry. The mint makes it sound like I have a list. Let me take this out.
Like a Chris Brown list? It's like a Chris Brown list.
No, like a I'm getting sick and tired of your broken promises.
Oh! I used to love that song. What? That brought me back. Oh my god.
Sorry. So now that I've taken that out of my mouth, I probably sound like a normal human being again.
We gotta sing that song later.
Today we are going over pages 269 to 342.
Yes, and stuff got real.
Oh,
stuff got real. Really
it did.
Real.
It did.
Oh,
bruh, it got realer than real. It got surreal.
Surreal.
It got surreal.
He was just out there with his little teacup and stuff. Yeah.
Right, like...
That's what I should be for Halloween.
What?
Yeah.
Surreal? Bro, don't play with me. Don't play with me.
Just be out there with a little teacup and a little cloak. Yo.
Like the truth. So, okay, right. Sidebar. We get back to the story. We are in chapter 26. This is called Realizations Upon Expectations.
Explanations.
And then, explanations. God damn, I can't read either. What the hell? Baby is taking everything from me.
He's just sucking it all out.
Little vampire.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so the nobleman and Khalid's crew are going on a hunt. I just want to pause on the interaction between Jalal, General Al-Khoury, and Tariq.
Ooh.
They know.
Ooh.
They know.
It was perfection for me. Only because Jalal and Khalid Jalal and Khalid have such a good dynamic together. They know each other's body language. They know basically that's your best friend that you could just give a look to. And they already know type of stuff. It's like across the classroom, like, hello. So it was to read that. I love it. I love it.
Bruh, they are all on him. Like white on rice. Like,
okay, we thought Shazi was obvious.
Tariq is so obvious, bro. It's like I told you. I've said it in past episodes and I will say it again. This boy is completely reckless. And he just doesn't know what he's doing. He's flying by the seat of his pants, expecting that he's gonna take down a caliph. Really? Really? For a girl that don't even love you no more?
But that's the thing. Like, he's such in denial over the fact that she doesn't love. Like, it's very obvious and apparent that she doesn't view him in that way anymore. Like, he should have picked up on that the moment he kissed her on the balcony and her lips went limp. Like,
bro, and he talks about that. He talks about how she was acting so weird and so different. It wasn't like her at all.
Right.
And I was just like,
But that's what I'm saying though. Like that right there should have been the inkling, like the first little inkling of like, oh shit, something isn't right. And it's the fact that he's in such fucking denial. Like I'm like, dude,
bruh, it ain't just a river in Egypt, bro. It is strong and it is with him. Bro, you know what I thought about? You need to give it
yes!
Had about enough.
Yo.
Also, in this episode, this chapter, they pass Shazi on the way out. And Salim actually like threatens her, but like sweetly. And I was like, oh.
Yep.
And Khalid did not let that go unnoticed.
Not at all.
So he went back to talk to Shazi before they left. Mm-hmm. And they made up. They had a cute little moment where he's like, I'm sorry, you know I love you. And Shazi is like, she gives in to him. She's like, I can't fight my feelings with this man. Like,
correct.
She puts his arms around him. She leans into him. And of course, Tariq's dumbass calls himself going back to get something he misplaced.
He had to be.
And
wait, no, this is one of those like Miss couldn't mind her business and hurt her own feelings. That's basically what he did. Yes. That's basically what he did.
Literally, he saw them. He's like,
"That's not right."
But
I'm right here. Why is she like? He was.
But why does she look so comfortable with him? He was hurt, deeply like, hurt and disturbed.
First love, heartbreak, hurt. Like it was bad.
Yes,
it was bad.
Yes, we need a song for him. Alexa, play Heartbreak Hotel. No, Alexa, stop. Oh my God. Alexa, stop. And it's not even the right one. She played the one by Elvis. I'm talking about the one by Whitney Houston, obviously. All you really wanted was like, yeah.
I know.
That one.
There's a movie for Whitney Houston coming out. I saw the trailer for it.
I saw the poster. Also, at this time that Tariq is having his heart crumble in front of him.
And I could hear it break. And
every fucking guard notices his presence. And Khalid shoves Shazi behind him and takes out his sword, ready to defend her against any and everything. I was like, oh.
As he should. And here comes walking Tariq, and he's like, I am so sorry. I was looking for blah, blah, blah. I got turned around. And everybody's looking at him like, how?
I don't think so.
Whatever. He needs to learn how to lie.
Didn't you have a guard? Didn't you have a guard walking with you? How the fuck did you get turned around? That sounds like a lie. Like, dickhead, you couldn't come up with anything better.
Facts. Facts.
So he tries to apologize to Khalid. And Khalid is like, I don't like this dude. And Jalal is like, me either. Let's do some digging.
Wait. I really liked how they went about that though, because I think Jalal was like, blood runs true. That boy has been bothering me all day. And I was like, yes!
Yup. I'm like, great. All you had to do was lay low.
All you had.
One job, bro.
One job.
You have one job.
That was
and you fucking blew it, and now you're about to get everybody exposed.
It was crazy though, because it wasn't as like us being the readers, right? Knowing his intentions from the very beginning. Reading how things happened, even even me who knew this shit was gonna go down, I was like, you could have went about that way differently. You could have been
completely different,
way more conspicuous. Like, and then when he saw him shove Shazi behind him so he could protect her, he was like, oh no,
and quick take out that sword. He was like, oh.
Right. That was in that moment. He knew. He's like, oh shit, I have misjudged this man. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I've been saying this 2 chapters back. You was just sitting here talking shit.
We've been saying it. Shazi's been saying it, but you had to see it to believe it.
Everybody.
Okay.
We move on to the next chapter, which is called A Floating Carpet and a Rising Tide. So in this chapter, we find Shazi and Despina. If you guys remember, a couple chapters back, we had met the teacher. What was his name?
Musa Effendi.
Yeah, and he gifted Shazi a carpet. So we never knew what happened to that carpet. It turns out it ended up in Despina's room, and they lay it out, dude. They had a full blown Aladdin moment with this damn carpet.
Yes, yes, and the carpet, like,
Floated.
the carpet reacts to
Shazzy.
her touch.
Yep.
So when she puts her hand on it, she feels the tingles, and then they both, like, it floats.
Yeah.
The goddamn thing floats.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, flying carpet, and it actually does what he says it will do. It will lead you where your heart wants to be. That carpet fitting to take her right down the hall to Khalid's room.
In the middle of the night, just straight down there.
At this point, I also said I was putting, like, 2 and 2 together.
Okay.
I had, like, theories at this point, even though my theories were dead wrong. So, Despina mentioned that Musa is a magus from the Fire Temple, so he's a sorcerer.
Yeah.
And immediately I thought, okay, sorcerer from the Fire Temple, putting 2 and 2 together. He's most likely the one who made the curse, and why you have to sacrifice somebody for it to rain. Otherwise, the land will burn up. Very, very far-fetched theory, but I thought I had.
I mean,
something.
it could. We don't know for sure. We still haven't gotten to the end of the book. We know that there's something. No, it's a curse.
Bitch, I thought, I swore to God, I was like, boom, give me my crown, crack the case. I got to the end of the chapters that we read. I was salty as fuck. I was like,
okay.
Well then.
After they figure out this whole situation with the carpet and everything, the chapter immediately switches gears and we're back with Tariq. And he has made his way to Omar al-Sadi. I don't know. Did they mention Omar before? They have, right?
They did. He was he's the leader of the Badawai tribe.
Okay.
The nomads that Tariq was trying to get on his side. The only person that was trying to talk Tariq into some sense with these last few chapters.
Omar and Tariq start talking. And basically, Omar, again, what he asks her is, well, first he starts telling her, like, are the rumors true? Like, is the Caliph...
You mean him?
Omar? Is it Omar or Tariq who asks?
Ask what?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is something not that I wanted to talk about.
Oh.
Hold up. Sorry. I'm trying to find it. Because I wanted to find the exact moment when he...
Oh. Yes, I know what you're talking about. He's heard rumors about Tariq.
Yeah.
And he finally, like, gets his name, because Tariq never actually gave him his name.
Yes, he was known as the White Falcon.
So he's like, oh yeah, I heard this Tariq is raising an army to go after his lost love and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, this is really bad, because now your name is out there. Khalid and Jalal already know who you are. All they have to do is ask around, and that trail is going to come right back to you.
This is what I'm saying when I say this man was so fucking obvious about everything.
I wanted to bring up that he also was, like, thinking to himself about Shazi and Khalid. And he's like, none of this makes sense. She must be under some kind of spell, or she's fallen in love with her captor. I've heard of that happening before.
She must...
How about she just don't want you no more, bro?
She must have Stockholm syndrome.
Yes, that's basically what he said. I'm like, no, bro, she just
don't love
you no more. Like,
that's it. But see, that's the thing. To him,
it's over.
Her and I have known each other since we were children. She would never choose anybody over me. That's what it is.
Omar brings that up.
Yeah.
He was like, familiarity doesn't mean that she belongs to you.
Yes.
I was like, thank you.
When he asked him, Tariq, why are you doing this?
Why do you love her?
Yeah, he was like, Tariq, why are you doing this? Why are you fighting this battle? And Tariq says, because I love her. And then Omar's like, but why do you love her? Tariq basically says that's a ridiculous question. And then he's like, well, all of my most cherished memories are of her. I've suffered alongside her, and we've laughed at nothing together. What does that sound to you? What does that sound like to you?
Sounds like a friend.
A really good friend.
Right, and don't get us wrong, like, friendship can lead to love.
Most definitely.
But she is in a different place now in her life, where she's like, oh, I loved this person before because this is what I perceived as love. And now I love this person for a different reason.
Love evolves. The love that she has for Khalid is something different. It's stronger. It's a bonded type of love, and it's definitely a lot deeper of an emotion.
Yeah, it's not like surface. Even with all of his secrets that he has, like, she's still very invested. So yeah.
But one of the best lines I think out of this whole chapter was from Omar, and he says, "A shared history does not entitle you to a future, my friend."
Yes. And I was like, look at Omar the Wise. Listen to your elders, boy.
Facts, man. And then he gets upset like a little child, like a petulant child. Tyreek did not want to hear it.
He didn't.
Not at all.
There was also like a small council there too.
Oh, yeah.
Like his uncle ended up finding
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
and Raheem and Jahandar were there. And they were basically telling him the same thing. Like, look, we need to have a plan. We are gathering forces. We're not ready to move right now. People will fight to protect the kingdom. They're not just going to fight for you and your lost love.
Yes, like that's what his uncle says.
That's not enough.
That's exactly what his uncle says. Tyreek and Jahandar have like a moment together.
Oh, girl. Oh, I can smell the storm coming. Jahandar's like, you still want to do anything? Because I'll do anything. And I was like, oh, great. Both of y'all are going to get killed.
Jahandar's like an addict. He's like an addict at this point.
He is. Now that he has that magic, he's like,
scratching. Yo.
I gotta move. I gotta use it. It's like, sit down, you goddamn feet.
It's exactly
relax.
It's exactly the behavior, yo. It's crazy. But basically, by the end of this chapter, they agree. Tyreek's like, basically, he can help, and Jahandar's like, they've come to that agreement. And that's the end of this chapter. So we move on to the next chapter. And it's called Someone Knows.
Someone who knows.
Someone who knows. There we go.
Who knows? God. Who knows? I can't. So when I was reading this, at first I thought there were like magic ghosts in her room, but they're actually just mercenaries.
No, they're just assassins ready to go kill her. I was like,
they're fucking mercenary assassins, and they're trying to kill Shazi, and Shazi's trying to hold up her own. She tells Despina, like, run. Despina's calling for Jalal.
Thanks.
Everybody busts up in the room. Mercenary assassin has Shazi by the throat. And oh my God, this got me. He was like, put down your weapons, or what happens to her, or what happened to your mother will happen to her. And Khalid was like, just ghost.
Facts. It was the fact that they brought up his mom. Basically, whoever was doing this knew how his mom died. Because I don't think everybody knows how his mother died. And I give it to Shazi, because Shazi was up there. She's like, no. She was like yelling at him, like, no, don't put down your sword. And she was telling the dude that was holding her captive, she was like, oh, you dead.
As soon as he said that shit about his mom, and she saw how it affected him, she was like, I will kill you myself. And I was like, oh.
I was like, that's love. That's love right there. I was like, that's
love. Excuse me while I gobble this shit up.
Like, that's love.
But yeah, it was a really low blow. I honestly believe Salim sent them.
I think so too. I think that was the whole point. I think he would be one of the few people to know what happened to Khalid's mom. And we already saw, or we had already read, that he threatened Shazi. Even though it was nice wrapped up in a pretty little bow, he still threatened her in her own home.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he send these assassins or these mercenaries out to kill her? Why wouldn't he tell them? Go ahead. Sorry.
I think that he also knows about the curse.
Oh, yeah.
Because he kind of bought up at the banquet. He's like, oh, you're not looking so good these days. Are you eating? Are you sleeping? And he also felt some type of way when Khalid married Ava instead of Yasmin.
We go into that a little later. We go into that specific thing a little later. But yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. But yeah. Like, I fully believe it was him. Basically, Shazi is able to, like, I think she arms the guy.
She gets cut in the process, but she does. She, like, elbows.
She does.
She, like, elbows the fuck out of him.
And she gets a little cut.
That, of course, frees her, and that lets, I don't know if it's Khalid or somebody else. They end up, is it Khalid?
I think it's like Jalal and General Al-Khoury.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's, no, I think it is the Rajput. The Rajput was defending his little daughter.
Nice.
He was like, not today, bitch.
No.
So before he picks her up and takes her out of the room, he asks the guy, he's like, who sent you?
Yeah.
And that's where he says, someone who knows.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really important because our list of suspects
is very short.
Very, very small. So I'm still not counting out Musa. I think Musa's still a suspect. Because, girl, deceptions. I think Musa's still a suspect.
Disgrace.
Shut up. Ooh. I can't stand you. I think Musa's still a suspect. I think Salim is a suspect. You're a dickhead. But yeah, he does pick her up, and he ends up taking Shazi back to his room.
Yeah. It's the first time Shazi has been to his chambers. So she's like looking around and she's like, oh, this is very like crisp and clean, as if somebody doesn't live there. There's no like emotion. There's no like live in.
There's no personalization
Yeah,
to it.
exactly.
And it's very dark
Yeah.
as well.
Like his soul. Yep.
Yeah. She's like, what the fuck? Did I marry a vampire?
Oh my god.
But I mean, that's because of his headaches and stuff. But of course, she doesn't know that yet.
Yeah.
But he's like cleaning up her wounds and stuff like that. And he's like, I need to send you away to protect you. She's like, absolutely the fuck not.
As she should.
You can protect me by letting me stay right here.
Exactly.
They have this like tender moment. And she's like, I want to know you again. And he's like, I'm afraid I can't like give you what you want. And she like touches him and she's like, why aren't you touching me? Khalid was like, because if I do, I don't think I'll ever stop. And she's like, who told you to stop? Oh my fucking god. I loved it. I love this whole interaction. And they're like literally about to make love for the first time. Like actually make love. And somebody knocks at the door and ruins that fucking moment.
Oh yeah. A guard, basically, or is it Al Khawri or something?
I think I don't remember who it was, but it was some type of guard. And Khalid was mad. He's like, literally every time I try to get my dick wet, something happens.
Somebody's always cock blocking.
Every single time.
Cock blocking.
Damn.
Yo.
So he like goes off because there's some issue that he needs to attend to.
Yeah.
And he asks Shasi to stay there, and she does. Oh, they said they figured out how the intruders got in.
Yeah.
I think it was Tariq's fault when he climbed up on her balcony.
Did he leave something there?
No, but remember, there are people watching all the time. So if somebody watched Tariq scale the palace and get to her balcony,
could do it too.
They could have used that to get to her and kill her.
That makes sense.
So I was like, I think it's Tariq's fault, and I think they're gonna find that out.
Right.
And what was it? I said, Khalid had some type of response on page 316 that I absolutely fucking loved. He said, he smiled before he left, and she was like, what? And Khalid said, it's a fitting punishment for a monster to want something so much to hold it in your arms and know beyond a doubt that you will never deserve it.
Okay, this man, they kept saying, oh, he's cold, he's calculated, he's blah, blah, but he's a true poet at heart. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my God.
True poet at heart. Something else is, like, after that, she feels guilt. And I think it's guilt of, like, oh my God, I really do love this man. But, like, the loyalty I should have to Shiva, and
it's gone. It's gone. Like she can't even bring herself to like muster up that hate anymore. No. So it's just guilt because she knows that she's failed Shiva.
Yeah.
But at this point, girl,
it is. You know what,
Shiva gone.
Shiva be happy for you. All right.
Shiva gone. Shiva don't want for nothing no more because Shiva gone. So go ahead and be with that man.
She gone.
That's fucked up.
All right, so moving on to the next chapter. It's called A Shade of What I Feel. In this chapter, Shazi, she's alone in his room. So, of course, she's curious. And what I really loved about this chapter was they tied in her previous story of Bluebeard into this chapter.
Yes.
Which I was like, oh, yes. Like, this makes so much sense. So, basically, she's looking around and she's like trying to see if she can find anything about Khalid that she wouldn't have known, because this is where he lives. This is his sleeping quarters. And she's looking and looking and looking. And then finally she comes across, I think it's like some type of like, not a dresser drawer, but like some type of
I think it's like a chest or armoire or something.
Right,
like
exactly. That she opens. She looks over, she catches something that like, and I think it's a book. It's like a leather bound type of book or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she immediately starts going through the book. And each page is filled with a heartfelt apology from Khalid to the families of the girls that he had married and had to kill at dawn. And it was so heart-wrenching.
Bruh, she was like, I could tell that they were never meant to be sent to the families because he couldn't do that. But oh my God. Oh my God. She finds such raw emotion in these letters.
She finds the one to Shiva's family. And that one, like, I'm gonna read the little serpent, or the little expert, but it says,
Yeah.
how does one begin to apologize for robbing the world of light? Words seem strangely insufficient in such a case, and yet I fall to their uselessness in my own inadequacy. Please know I will never forget Shiva. For the brief moment she stared into the face of a monster, she deigned to smile and forgive. In that smile, I sensed a strength and a depth of understanding I could never hope to fathom. It tore at what professes to be my soul. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, 1,000,000 times, at your knees, and it will never be enough.
That almost made me cry.
Like, she knew she was gonna die, and she still forgave Khalid for it and smiled at him.
Yeah.
Like, I just sat there and was like,
And that's exactly how Shazi described her. Even the night before, she's like, I don't want to sit here. I don't want to mourn. I want to have fun with my friend. And I want to stay up all night and do all the things that we used to do before I go off. Because she knew exactly what was going to happen.
yeah.
But it's just like, she had such strength and such like dignity and grace about her. And that made me break down with Shazi. I was like, damn,
It was
bro.
bad. It made me feel for her so hard because I was like, oh my God. And then she finds the letter addressed to her. Because they couldn't find her family, he couldn't address the letter to her father.
But it's like, it makes it more personal for him to say sorry to the family instead of to the person who died.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he ends up writing the letter to Shazi instead. And he doesn't even get to fucking finish the letter. So it turns out he was writing this letter when they planned to kill Shazi way back a couple chapters back. And he realized in that moment that he was writing the letters. It was this one line where he said, when I think of you, I can't find the air to. And he couldn't finish it after that. She realizes from a memory that she had that they had a conversation where she asked him, and how will you know when you found this elusive someone? And he told her, I suspect she will be like air, like knowing how to breathe.
Tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air.
When I tell you, I read that and I was like, oh.
I know.
That right there.
And that broke her even more. And I'm like, oh my God.
Fact.
But I do like the fact that on 324, she's like, she finally admits to herself that she loves him.
Yes.
She finally admits it to herself. But she's also like, that does not excuse what he's done. He needs to answer for what he's done. I love him and I want to be with him, but you need to explain.
No, and you know what's funny is in that exact moment, I also sat there and I was like, she's right. Like, it's clear as day right here that he might not have been the one to pull the trigger or like squeeze the cord around Shazi's neck. Shiva, sorry.
Too soon.
Shiva's neck. But he allowed it to happen. He put the order out there. He didn't even try to stop it. So yeah, he is at fault there. And like, it is a hard thing to swallow where you're like, oh shit, I've fallen in love with this man because I know how kind he can be. And yet he is the one who killed my best friend. Oh!
I know. It also has that he's mean to everybody but me vibe.
Fact. But I was really not for that, but I was really hoping it was a misunderstanding. I was really hoping that like he wasn't the one who like gave the okay for these kills. I was really hoping that there was something entirely different behind it.
But same thing. Shazi was hoping the same thing, but she's like, no, he did this. One. So that's why she needs him to explain, because she's at conflict. She's conflicted with herself. Yeah. She's like, I love him. And I know that I'm no longer like here to avenge Shiva, but still I can't bring myself to just completely ignore what happened.
Right, exactly.
So yeah. At the same time, we get Jalal and Khalid's perspective, and Jalal. So Jalal is pressing Khalid hard about everything that's going on and about Shazi, and he hits a sore spot. He says something, I can't remember, but he says something about, oh, I guess you like really like her or something. And Khalid spins around on this man, sword out, about to cut his chest open. Is like, love is a shade of what I feel. And I was like,
Yo, this, it was, like I said, I really love their interaction. I really love.
Perfect.
I love that they're cousins too. Like, I love that they're relatives And so it almost feels like, yeah, this is how you would be with a cousin. You know what I mean? This is the type of relationship you would have. Like, Jalal's just looking at him like, look, as your cousin, I'm more than happy that you found somebody to love. But as the captain of your guard, it's a problem that you put down your sword and put yourself at risk for one woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jalal, we couldn't just stay in the happy place. We had to bring it down.
He was like, you would have left us without a king. And he's like, I don't care.
Yo, no, but like, the fact that he said that he was like, Shazi, he basically said, Shazi's everything. And like, that's everything to him. And I was just like, goddamn.
I love it. I love it. And I just need more of it. At this point, too, Jalal's like, well, if that's really how you feel, then you need to tell her about the curse.
Facts. She's family.
Because
Jalal was like, she's
family.
I was like,
yes. It just keeps getting better and bringing joy into my life, and I love it.
No, so they end up parting ways at this point, and Jalal just makes a point of saying, yo, like, you're looking a little tired. You're looking a little, around the eyes. So he was just kind of like, you should definitely summon the Bakar.
How's it spelled?
Faqir.
I don't know.
So basically
I'm not going to pretend like
but this guy's like a magical healer. He's not like a regular healer. He's like a magical healer. So basically,
that's the same guy that we saw earlier in the book that took his head away.
Yeah, exactly. Khalid goes into his room, and they give like this cute, really full description of how he views her in that exact moment. And I was like, oh, I'm so for this. I'm so for this.
I know. And then he's like, I can't stay away from her. So he goes to cuddle with her.
He goes to cuddle with her, and she also cuddles with him. Like in her sleep, it's almost as if she's drawn to him. And then it's broken. It's all broken. So then it turns out...
Oh my God. Every time.
It turns out he is seeing, like, there's something wrong with his vision. And he's seeing shadows. And he starts to freak out. So he throws...
Okay, ghosts?
But they didn't say ghosts. It said shadows. It said that he was seeing movement out of the corner of his eye. Like, out of the, like, the peripheral of his eye.
Demon. Demon shadow ghosts.
It's actually explainable, and it's actually a real thing. So basically, it is. So basically, he's seeing this stuff, right? He thinks it's his body immediately goes on alert from all the training, and he immediately like throws this water pitcher. Then when he gets a good look at it after Shazi wakes up, nothing's there.
Yeah, at this point, he's holding his head, and he's just like won't open his eyes. Like he is in severe pain.
And so Akari's like, I got it. Hold on a minute. So they come back with this magic healer guy. And of course, they're trying to take Shazi out of the room. Khalid's like, no, she's my wife. She stays.
He gonna tell her the truth.
He does something. It like clears up whatever's going on with Khalid.
And the whole time that guy was giving like the stink eye to Shazi, I was like, you can fucking leave. Fired. That moves us into chapter 30, which is titled Ava. We finally get to know about this bitch. Ava was his first wife. And he's telling the story to Shazi. Yeah. Ava was his first wife. But he didn't kill her. He just wasn't very attentive. He didn't actually love her. He just thought it was a good marriage match. And Ava was very, very lonely.
It's just he didn't want to be used as a pawn to be married to Yasmin. And then Uncle Salim have all of this power.
And he's also... like Uncle Salim is a dickhead, and he also like talked bad about his mom whenever chance he got. He's like,
he said that he called his mom a rich man's whore. A rich man's whore.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I won't be marrying your daughter.
No, fuck off.
Right, exactly. Thank you. So basically, he marries Ava as that like match. Mm-hmm. Wasn't really a lot of chemistry there. And Khalid didn't know how to balance his work life and his relationship at the time because he's still very, very young.
So another thing was she, at one point, she got pregnant. And, like, he thought this was going to change everything. Like, she was more happy. She smiled more. Like, he was he naively thought the pregnancy was going to fix their marriage. And then she lost the baby a couple weeks later. And obviously, if you were already sad to begin with, and then you lose something that you had so much,
and depressed and lonely,
and you lose something that you really probably held really like so much dearly to you, really saved everything and then you lose it, like, she just further into depression. And like Khalid says, he wasn't the best attentive husband. He didn't know how to deal with that. And I gotta give it to him. He was 17 at the time when all this was happening.
Yeah.
He had just lost his brother. He just lost his father. Granted, he didn't care much for his dad. He'd been lost his mom. He is now a king that he was never groomed to be.
Like you said, after the miscarriage, she just kind of spiraled again, even harder this time. And the night before she died, she asked Khalid, "Do you love me?" And he says, "I feel so bad because the last thing that I said to her was a lie. I lied to her and told her I loved her."
Yeah.
And the next morning, she had hung herself with a silk cord. And he felt really, really bad. And I found this interesting too because it's like he didn't actually kill her. Like I thought he might have actually killed his first wife. Yeah. And then it gets even worse because
oh my god.
the father of Ava invited Khalid to his house, and against all of his advisors, he still went. Because he's like, I feel bad, this is the least I can do. He shows up to the house, the father curses Khalid and then takes his own life.
Yeah.
So this is where the curse came from. He's basically like, Shazi, I didn't want to tell you because this is such a huge burden to bear. And I never wanted to do that to you. I never wanted any of this to happen. Yeah. Shazi also asks how many dawns are left, and he says not many. And she's like, Khalid, I'm just one woman.
Oh my god, when she said this, hold up. Ooh! When she said, and when he sat there, he was like, no. Like, he shut that down real quick. He was like, no. And he was like, if you are one girl, I am one boy. I was like,
I'm just one man.
I sat there and I was like, if you don't sit there and say, if you are one girl, I am one boy to me, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Bruh. If you're not willing to kill somebody on the spot,
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
If you're not willing to deal with sleep deprivation, I don't want it. Like, I don't want it.
Oh my god. And that's literally where we end for this episode. Oh my god. My heart is like bursting for these two. I ship them so much. I need it. I need it.
It's so funny because I like when we started this book, I knew it was the enemies to lovers situation, and I was like, oh, I love that trope. Like, yeah, bring it on. And then as we were reading it, I was like, oh, like, how are we gonna fix this? She really hates him. Like, she really hates him. And then it was almost like a switch. I like how it was almost a slow burn of how they fell in love.
And he mentions that in his letter. He was like, I saw the hate in your eyes when we first met.
Right.
I love it. Needless to say, I already will be ordering Rose and the Dagger promptly.
Facts. I was already looking to see how much that was. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Put it in the cart.
Put it there.
Put it in the cart. So this is basically the next episode is going to be the last episode for the Wrath and the Dawn. It's crazy. We're going to finish it up. We're going to read pages 342 to 388. So that is the end of the book.
That's not a lot. Oh my god. Okay.
No, it's not. It's a very small sliver, and I honestly am like, what the fuck is going to happen now? Because there's not a lot left, and there's still so much that needs to be covered. Like, what is going to happen to Khalid, especially when he finds out about Shazi? Where is Tariq? Is he going to show up? I have a feeling he's not going to die in this book, and I'm really upset.
I personally feel like, I don't think that this book is going to cover everything, because we also have an impending war that Tariq started. We have Salim to worry about.
Can't they just live in peace and prosperity? And
not with Salim. I think that this is going to continue in the Rose and Dagger, but I don't know what type of cliffhanger we're going to be left on. Like, is it going to be such a big cliffhanger that we're like, oh shit?
I think it's going to be a cliffhanger where we're like, how dare you?
We're coming back.
And then immediately add Rose and Dagger to cart. But yeah, I'm super excited to see where this ends.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready. I want it all to come out.
Same. It got really good. That little bit that we read was probably exactly what I was looking for in regards to like everything happening. Like that little bit was like, okay, Tariq, idiot. Okay, we definitely love each other. Love confession. Okay, by the way, my first wife. This is what happened. And this is why I had to kill all the other girls.
Finally, let her know that you're cursed. Thank you. So she could stop fighting with herself and just
Right.
love
Oh my
you.
gosh, she just kept sitting there talking about her loyalty.
Yeah, so you can let that
You
shit
can love
go.
him freely. It's fine. We all
It's
absolve
fine.
you of the
It's
shame.
okay.
Like that. It's fine.
It's fine. We've been absolving,
Right,
but
exactly.
go off,
Right,
sis.
exactly.
Yeah, so next
This is
episode,
the last
stay
episode.
tuned.
But with that, we want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Again, please write reviews. That helps us. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tune in next episode for the finale. And we love you guys. So always stay Wyatt at heart. Bye.
Bye.